approached us, gave me a lovely number and said, I know somebody who has children. Don't you want children in your home? And I was like, yes, but we always have children in our home. So she says, here's an opportunity to get it more permanently done. And she shared the number. She shared the number, and she also got my permission to share the number with the person that she was talking to. And guess
Yeah.
what? Before I started to make the phone calls, they were already making the phone calls. They were guiding me through the process. It was really easy and simple. And yes, I visited before. The process is, I believe, a little bit different now with CPFSA in terms of them making it feel a little, it was just my impression at the time,
Yes.
that it was going to take long from the CPFSA side going straight to government. But when I found the partnership in Family Life Ministries, and because the partnership that I had with them before, because my
Yes.
company also uses them for employee assistance
We
program, then
want to keep
it
that
worked.
partnership because we're going
Yeah.
to come right back to it. The
Yeah.
time is now 5:46. We're going to a break and we'll be right back to continue unpacking foster parenting, the adventures thereof.
A mother, a mentor, a nurturer. What is your legacy? CIBC Caribbean wants you to follow your heart while chasing your career goals. We empower mothers, mentors, and nurturers with the finances needed to build a legacy. Did you know that CIBC has women's empowerment benefits, including reduced fees, cash back, and more?
Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/women in business for more information.
It's the Media Madness sale at Home and Things. 2 days only. This Friday and Saturday only. Get 25 to 75% off every single item in store. From tiles, bathroom fixtures and vanities, windows and doors, hardware, home decor, and more. 2 days only. 25 to 75% off every single item in store. These deals are too good to miss. Hurry now to Home and Things, Woolworth Road and Constant Spring Road for the Media Madness sale. This one I go mad.
Don Martin Panton presents Praise in the Process of Victory, Saturday, June 7th at 7 p.m. at the Emmanuel Apostolic Church, Portmore, featuring Petra Kay, Shai Kingston, Levis Heritage, Hubert Levy, Niket Morgan Williams, Unity Singers, Shunammite Sisters, Women of Faith Praise Team, EAC Portmore Dance Ministry, Bishop T, MC Nadine Blair. Tickets available only at SpurOpen.com. Only $3,000. And if you can't be there in person, you can stream it online at SpurOpen.com/Praise in Victory. Only $2,000. Children pay $1,000 at the door. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to all our listeners. This is Family Time on Love 101 FM. Our guests are Simone and Lancelot Thomas and Sabrina and Gary Morgan. We're sharing stories in the adventures of foster parents. And of course, we want you to tell us what's stopping you from becoming a foster parent. Now, most nuclear families start from one and have about 9 months to get ready. Is preparing to be a foster parent any different? Does it matter though? Do you need time to prepare? Now, we want you to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the partnership with Family Life Ministries. We were speaking to you, Lady Thomas, and then we're going to go over to the Morgans just to hear their point, and we move into the other questions.
Yes. Thank you, Crystal. So, as you know, I get excited just sharing my story. And so I was really going off just now because the partnership made everything so seamless and beautiful. They put together the application forms, they had it sent, they already had somebody working with us from day one. They started preparing us mentally for what was to come. They started to share with us how it is that we must prepare our homes, or home, or different rooms. And at that point as well, it wasn't even about, okay, you're already sure of the child or children you're going to be getting, but they asked questions that opened up our minds to different possibilities. We
Yes.
went through different psychometric tests. We did our police reports. There were a number of things, but I'm telling you, the partnership with FTC for the child and through the Family Life Ministries program made
Yes.
a world of difference.
No, the Morgans, we want to hear about. So thank you so much for mentioning that. But how was the application process for you? What is the application process like? Because I see Lady Thomas talking about the police record, the psychometric test, and all of that, and I see you nodding, Lady Morgan. So just go ahead and tell us what was the application process like for you.
Just as she mentioned, the police record, complete the application form, we had to get references, and we had to be interviewed. And it felt a little tedious at the beginning, but after that, it was okay.
Okay,
It was
so
okay.
it's a little bit tedious because of the other documentation that you need to present and so on.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at the length of the process, but I want to hear from Mr. Thomas. Boy, Mr. Morgan, I'm coming back to you. You know, don't think I'm forgetting you. You know. I'm coming to you. But Mr. Thomas, tell me, when you and Lady Thomas went and looked at the children, what propelled you to choose the boys that you did, the twins?
Um, from day one, when we met them, there was just this instant connection
Mm.
with them. Um, there was just the instant connection was there. They You could see and feel the love that they have
Yes.
and the love that they need to be getting, and that's how we become connected.
Uh, I would want to say perhaps because your heart was yearning to parent these boys. You that connection was just there and it flowed.
Very much so.
Very much so indeed. All right, Mr. Morgan, you want to share with us how it is that you and Lady Morgan identified your foster children?
We just connected.
All right. Basically, we filled out in on one of the forms that we filled out. It stipulated like the age and other
Yes.
things. Of course, with a boy. And so when we went down to, we got a call to say that there's a possible match based on the information that we filled out. When we went down to the home,
Mm-hmm.
um, we were in a holding area, and then the lady said, just before she went for the boy, she said she asked somebody to bring him, and then she said, she looked at me and she said, I know him kind of look like you, you know. And it seemed a little bit amusing, but then when we saw him, we were like, oh my God, this is it's not funny.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not
yes.
funny at all. And so the aim was that we would meet him and he would interact with us there at the home, and they would monitor the situation to see if he liked us, and if there was a sort of chemistry and bonding that was going on, that was natural. So that was what happened with us. So the selection was very natural, because apart from what they said about the resemblance, there
Yeah.
seemed to be a connection to me and to Sabrina, with this little boy, and how he was responding to us. He came in, he sat in our laps, we rubbed his head, he laughed. It was a little bit he started pulling Sabrina's hair, and it was natural. It wasn't strained. It was just like an adventure, as your program is saying. It was an adventure, and that was basically the selection process for me.
All right. So we want to hear a little bit more about the age. Why was that particular age selected?
Well,
In fact, we didn't even
we,
ask how old are the boys. In fact.
we got our first child at age 4, and we wanted the children as young as possible because we wanted to be able to influence them positively at an early an age as possible. And so we said up to age 4. And even though we have worked with older children or teenagers, I don't think we thought that we really had this special gift to actually raise teenagers. We said, you know what, let us work with the littler ones. So that did it for us, 0 to 4 years, and we got a 4-year-old. And our other child came at age 4 as well.
Excellent.
They're just 3 months apart, so they're almost like twins. And we have always wanted twins too. So
Wow. So both of you have fostered twin boys, are fostering twin boys presently.
well, not biological twins for us, 2 different homes, 2 different boys.
Oh, two
They're just a
different
few
homes,
months,
but they are
right?
twins.
They're just a few months apart. Yes.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Wow. That's very unique. Very unique. Now, let me ask this. Now that you have chosen the child that you wish to foster and all of that, where how did you prepare mentally, financially? Did you ensure that you have a space for them, a room? You know, what was it? How did you prepare properly to be able to facilitate?
They,
Well, okay.
you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
All right. Sorry about that. I was going to say that we prepared prayerfully. That's I think that was a major thing because you have absolutely no idea what you're going into. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You have no idea what the process will be like. And we've heard stories. We've heard stories. So we prepared by praying about it and making a bold step. Now we also had to prepare ourselves like in terms of physical space. So we bought a bunk bed, that could hold two different children. Financially, I'm not sure how to address that one because
Well, we have stable jobs.
and that was our financial preparation. So it's not like we had a bag of money put down and we say, we can take children because we have all this money. No. It was okay. I mean, we weren't on the streets. As Sabrina said, we had stable jobs and we were in a stable home. We had a roof over our head. And we thought we could, with some support, we could manage and take it step by step.
And we have been managing.
So the vetting process with you needing to submit respective documents and so on, was it a part of the financial status, a part of that vetting process?
Well, we don't know how much of it was.
Okay.
There was a section of it that we had to put in what our salary was like, but we're not quite sure the extent to which the financial or financial status contributed to that.
Ah,
I think even when you check the website, you will know that you just need to have some financial stability. And we
oh,
all know that sometimes not sometimes, what children really need is stability, a
yes,
place in your home and a place in your heart. Sometimes
awesome.
persons say, oh, we have to do these grand things to prepare for a child. No, just many of the people who are raising children, how many of them are well off financially? But they are doing pretty okay.
Awesome. We're almost up on the break, and we're going to allow the Thomases to start off the next segment of the discussion. We want to just look at how are you living now? What is it like? What are some of the fun things that you do, with your little family now that you're foster parents? Well, we want to remind our listeners this is Family Time live on Love 101. You can also watch us live on the Love 101 YouTube page and also on Facebook. It's produced by Family Life Ministries for our social media interaction. We want you to tell us what's stopping you from becoming a foster parent. Let's know via WhatsApp text and WhatsApp voice notes to 876 997 3125. Send your answers via WhatsApp text and WhatsApp voice notes to 876 997 3125. Try to keep those voice notes no longer than 30 seconds. And you can also call our studio lines at 876 968 8327 or 876 968 8328 Try to keep those voice notes no longer than 30 seconds. You can also watch us and comment live on Love 101 FM Facebook and Love 101 FM YouTube. We want to hear from you. We're now on the break. The time is 6 p.m. We'll be right back.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica, joined by Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Sar, Jean-Marc Wigan, MCs IT, and Nadine Blair. Tickets are going fast. General 6,000, VIP 20,000, VIP 32,000. Limited time offer now. Get your tickets at select locations island-wide or online at sparopen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for more details. CC Winans, More Than This, King's House, East Lawns, Friday, August 1. Are you ready?
Tuned to Love 101. This is Family Time, brought to you by Family Life Ministries. FLM produces counseling for people with all kinds of challenges from all walks of life. Before we continue our discussion on our topic, the adventures of parents, let's get a word from Reverend Mike in this episode of Word to Flesh Moments with Rev Mike.
Children are a gift from God. They are His reward. Psalm 127, verse 3. God has so designed and created a world where we all begin as children, starting with our formative and impressionable years, a stage where we are like sponges, soaking up whatever environment in which we are placed and mimicking whatever words we hear and actions we see. Therefore, the words and actions of a birth parent or a foster parent are extremely important. One songwriter wrote, "I believe our children are our future." So whatever you say or do to a child can literally shape that child's future and yours. In the Bible passage we read earlier, the word reward can be restated as posterity or future. Children are a gift from God. They are His posterity or future for us. Here are some questions a foster parent or birth parent should ask themselves. If I knew my child was going to become Prime Minister of Jamaica, would I raise him or her differently? Would I speak to them differently? Would I act differently as I raised them? Children need structure and discipline in a lovingly firm, fair, and consistent environment. Being a foster parent is a delicate balance. Some find it difficult because we are designed to naturally treat our own birth children better than we treat others. But Bible wisdom offers only one advice to all parents. Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Do you want to be a successful foster parent? Then look to the Bible for wisdom to raise your foster child in a lovingly firm, fair, and consistent environment. I'm Reverend Mike from Fellowship Tabernacle, and we just had a WTF moment.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Reverend Mike. Welcome back to our special guests, Simone and Lancelot Thomas, and Sabrina and Gary Morgan. Both couples are parents to very young boys, 2 boys each. All right, and so we've been unpacking the adventures of parenting. Now, just a little note for all my listeners who are watching on Facebook and YouTube Live. Just a bit of technical difficulties with my camera. So you are still hearing me, but just some technical difficulties there. So we continue with the discussion. Uh, I'm just throwing this out, whichever of you would like to answer this. Do they have a relationship, that's the boys, with their biological parents, or do the biological parents have a say? The children are raised, or they are raised based on what you plan for your little family.
Well, let's see. But first of all, we have to remember that foster care is really a temporary arrangement, right?
Yes.
These children are wards of the state. So the state, the CPFSA, gets a say in pretty much everything that happens in their life,
Yes.
along with Family Life Ministries through the For the Child foster care program. They will have social workers, officers assigned to us who do visitation, and where it is that the parents or the family members of the child or children request a meeting, we facilitate it. As a matter of fact, every opportunity I get, I just remind them, that it just means that they have a lot of people who love them. And they love that. They love to hear that. Um, the last time that their family members visited with them, facilitated and arranged by the CPFSA. They took pictures. They have the pictures that, if it is Christmas and they feel like sending something, to put something together, we send it through the CPFSA office. So we have that type of arrangement. We are aware while, their children, and yes, they do have biological families and members of the family. We want them to know that they are really just overshowered and showered with love. So we are open to having them remain connected with, while we don't understand, and we don't need to understand the circumstances and the background as to
Yes.
why it is that they're in our care at this point in time. We want them to know, to be secure, because that's important for them. Security, safety, a stable environment, as the Morgan said earlier. We want them to feel that way with us and with our family. And, they CPFSA and FTC, if there's any change that is supposed to happen, even when they're preparing, say, to meet or reunite with family members, there is that period of preparation that
Yes.
happens. And we are, always grateful to make sure that we can have them settled, see new people, come back to us if they have to come back, or if it is that other arrangements have to be made, we're also open to that. The temporary arrangement, so our mindset really has to be that way as well. Yes.
Awesome. So we just want to make this clear for the listeners as well. Uh, Foster parenting is temporary, and that's different from adopting a child. That's an entirely different process. So we want to ask the Morgans, your boys are so young. How much do they remember of their biological parents?
Okay, just before answering that question,
Yes.
even though the biological parents do have access to them, I just want our listeners to know that you're not bombarded with the biological parents. So the arrangements are made through the CPFSA. So it's not as if you have persons calling you or whatever and crossing boundaries that you don't agree with. That doesn't happen.
Right.
All right.
Okay. That's good
So
to know.
right, yes, that's very important. You did say how much of their families or the children remember. Yes, they actually do remember, and it all depends on the age at which you get them. So, and especially if they have their families meeting with them occasionally. Sometimes this is very infrequent. Sometimes maybe a few times per year, but they need to know that they have other families. And the thing is that if you get a child at age 4, the child is going to remember what happened at age 3. They're
Yes.
going to remember that they have other families, they have other
Yes.
mothers. So what you want them to understand is that yes, um you have the mommy whose tummy you came out of, and then you have another mommy who loves you as well. And you guess what? The mommy whose tummy you came out of, they weren't able to care for you the way they really wanted to at the time. So they
Yes.
allow us to love you as well. All right. So
Oh,
it's how you actually talk with them, and when it really gets home to them,
yes.
they're settled. And let's understand, these children are in school. They're going to be learning about nuclear family, extended family, and at some point they're going to be saying,
Yes.
whose tummy did I come out of? So you just have to be
Yes.
prepared for that. And
Yes.
sometimes they may even make up stories too. about things that
I was going to say that because we just want to emphasize we really don't know a lot about their backgrounds in a very personal way, but um they when they refer to their other families to us, sometimes we don't know if it's true. We have no idea. So we laugh with them, we entertain them, but we have to assume it's because it's not really critical, it's not life, and it's not a part of the decision making for them. So if they
Yeah.
talk about their other families, which they do, they talk about their other homes, that's fine. We question them not to get information, but just to keep the conversation going and to make them feel comfortable about talking about anything they want to.
Yes, yes. I want to mention something here as you're both speaking. I'm thinking about the fact that some of these children have experienced uncomfortable circumstances in their past, and you are inviting them in your home. Sometimes, they might have some traumatic experiences in the past and so on. How do you prepare yourselves to treat with them? If you see some of these things coming up, like, the coping mechanism, if their imagination runs wild, they're remembering a family that they didn't even have, just to have some kind of sense of, normalcy. How do you
well,
prepare to treat with them? Mhm.
Simone mentioned earlier that part of the interview process that we had to do like a biopsychosocial assessment, and
Yeah.
we completed questionnaires. You see, they have to make sure that the parent was ready. There was no rose-colored glasses that we were asked to put on. We
Yeah.
were even asked, okay, what type of child would you prefer? What about children who had mental disability or physical disability?
Special needs.
Yes, yes.
Would you be able to foster a child with special needs? And you need to be honest and open. You could say, well, I can work with a child who has learning challenges, but not X, not Y, right? And so we were very much prepared. And what made it a little easier too is that I'm in the counseling profession. Gary worked with children. He's a
Yes.
teacher as well. But for persons who are not necessarily in the education or counseling profession, trust me, you are prepared for the process. You're not going in, you know that children are coming in. Some persons are different types of abuse. Some persons could have been neglected. So you're prepared for what can happen. And then what happens at FTC is that we have regular training sessions with a psychologist who
Right.
is experienced working with the foster care program. Near and Family Home is associated with Family Life Ministry. And
Yeah.
so, believe me, it is just an awesome experience gathering monthly, sharing stories, and just learning new things and learning how to cope. The concerns that we have, we bring them forward and we get advice and we get support. It's just absolutely awesome working with the team of parents that we do have at FCTC.
Excellent. No,
Ditto, ditto.
I want to ask this question. Mr. Thomas, boy, you just quiet, so you just
No,
allow Lady Thomas to speak, speak, speak. But that is okay because we wives like to take the lead sometimes.
yeah,
Um,
I was also gonna add to the fact that the regular council meeting that we have from our from the family life ministry, and
yes.
if it's a situation that a child has any issue at all, they do also help us to get additional counselors, counsel
Okay.
session with the children one on one to make sure that the child, our children, is comfortable within our home and we are comfortable with them.
Okay, awesome. Because my next question was to ask if there is a support group. So FLMD. So when you go through the CPS FSA, you're not left on your own. You are consistently given support, even with additional counseling and all of that to help you to maneuver this new parenting experience.
Right. Yes.
I want to ask this. How long, though we know this fostering is temporary, we're almost going to head into a break. So I'm just going to ask this question, allow you to think about it. And then when we come back from the break, we can talk about it. But how long do you typically have a child for? Can you have the child from 4 and take them all the way up to 18 to on to college? or is that still temporary, even though it's long term? We want to know a little bit more about that. So just hold your thoughts there as we continue to engage with our listeners here. We're heading into our final break. This is Family Time. You've been listening to us live on Love 101 FM, YouTube, and Facebook. It's produced by Family Life Ministries. For feedback questions, you can always send your voice or feedback question. What's stopping you from becoming a foster parent? Send your voice notes and your text to 876-997-3125. You've been listening to Family Time. We're going to a break. We'll be right back.
You can see the face, but not the heart of those who want to do you wrong. So many times.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes, spot them, stop them, and report them.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
No shadow at the dark. CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica, joined by Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Sar, Jean-Marc Wigan, MCs IT and Nadine Blair. Tickets are going fast. General 6,000, VIP 20,000, VIP 32,000. Limited time offer now. Get your tickets at select locations island-wide or online at sparopen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for more details. CC Winans, More Than This, King's House, East Lawns, Friday, August 1. Are you ready?
Yes, welcome back, listeners. The time is now 6:16. Now, before we continue our discussion with the Thomas and the Morgans, we want to remind you, we want to tell you a little bit about two books from FLM. You want these books on your shelf. The first is Answers to Questions Parents Ask, and the second is Questions on Love, Sex, and Marriage. You can purchase them from the Bryan's Bookstore or the Jamaica Baptist Union Bookstore and the Source of Light Bookstore. But wait, there's a third book, and the title is Before They Say I Do, the Questionnaire and Manual. This one is specifically for counselors, psychologists, pastors, and marriage officers, and it's also available on Amazon. All three books are available through Family Life Ministries. You can call to order at 876-920-1034 or 876-926-8101. We're still unpacking the adventures of foster parents, and we have Simone and Lancelot Thomas and Sabrina and Gary Morgan. Again, Lancelot is a driving instructor, plumber, and businessman. His wife Simone is in the financial sector, while the Morgans both are in education, and they are foster parents to young boys. Both of them are, and they have been telling us about the process. Now, we want to ask any of you, you could answer the Thompson, the Thomas or the Morgans could answer this. Do you have any regrets at this point? Regrets? Do you feel like, Lord, I want me to take up on my head at any point?
Not no, it is. I'll say to individuals that are not fostering that you really need to take up the opportunity and give love, because if more of us within our country would take time out and support these young people, I believe we would have a better nation.
Awesome. So before we went to the break, we asked about the temporary nature. What does temporary really mean? Is it really a long period, or just 6 months, 3 months until the child becomes a certain age? How long will you be able to foster these boys?
You can have a temporary placement of 2 weeks thereon, as well as it can be a long-term situation where we can have a child from 0 up until age 18.
Excellent. That's great to know.
I would add to that as well that sometimes because we're in a support group, sometimes there's a post asking if somebody would like to take a child for the Christmas holidays or for a 2 week period. Because what you want is for the child who is in an unstable situation to experience a real home situation. So sometimes it's very temporary and you know how temporary it is in terms of the restrictions. But as Mr. Thomas said, sometimes you have no idea. It's just something in limbo, and you actually can carry the child right up to adulthood because there's you don't know if there's going to be a change in the situation at all. So you just provide a loving support for the child until that time.
I see. I see. So on
In
on
some
the
cases, in some cases, the parents are just not able to keep to care for their children, but
Mm,
they don't want the permanence of an adoption. So
yes.
you just know that you're going to be caring for this child, and the child
Yes.
is going to have a connection with their parents, and you just say, you know what, we are just the other set of parents who are going
Yeah.
to be covering this child until that child reach an adult. So it's just many different situations.
Yes. So I have a three-prong question. So what are some great memorable moments and some lessons you have learned in the parenting process? And as a foster parent, what how much can you discipline the child and what does discipline look like?
Well, I could start with that. um, I there have been several highs and several lows, but no regrets. Even today, it's just weird that one of them was crying when he reached school, and when Sabrina spoke to him, he said that he wants daddy, he wants to stay with daddy. And I was like, well, that's a first. I mean, it's not like it's totally out of the blue, but the crying part was caught me off guard. And it makes you feel, like, yeah, I'm in the right space. I'm in the right place. In terms of discipline,
Yes.
I mean, I strongly believe that your home is your home. If somebody enters your home, they have to abide by your rules. If you go to China, they tell you that you have to obey their rules.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
You have to stand and salute their flag or whatever. Any country you go to, they have rules and their expectations. When the Jamaican anthem plays, you're supposed to stand and stand at attention. Now, when you come into our house, in order for our family to flow as how we envision it, then you have to abide by our rules. It's not a prison, but just like I said before, there are expectations, and you have to find ways to enforce that. So, because I have a resident guidance counselor, we explore all the options. So we have the timeouts and the withholding of benefits and stuff like that. The full ring.
We are very mindful of the Child Care and Protection Act.
Excellent.
And when we see how the timeouts and the other things work, I'm saying, listen, man, these things really work. Sometimes they work even better than you trying to use corporal punishment. And one of the highs I want to mention is that one of the boys really offended the other one. And I remember they started playing as if nothing happened. And I said to the one who was the offending person, do you have something to say to your brother? And he started apologizing. And the other one said, I can't hear you. Speak louder. And then he said, I'm sorry. And the other one said, what are you sorry for? And then he said, and he started explaining what he did. And he said, so why didn't you, and he gave him another option. Why didn't you choose that option? And he was reasoning with him. And it's like, I was saying to myself, oh my God, oh my gosh, that sounds like us. It was so emotional for me because that was happening in my presence, and I couldn't wait to share it with Gary because just the way he was questioning and processing his brother, it was just
Yes.
reminding us that, sometimes we feel like we don't have it together. But, I want to encourage some parents out there.
Yes.
Sometimes you're doing okay.
Yes.
And
So
you
on the
can
point,
hear the children saying stuff that you would have said. And that's some of the time when you know that you're really not that bad.
Right.
And you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be, just caring and have very good intention. You're going to be making mistakes, and that's okay. Just
yes,
give it your best shot and
oh,
know that you're doing something well, something good
yes,
enough.
indeed, indeed, indeed. We have a WhatsApp question. The person would like to know if the program allows foster care to develop into adoption.
Well, the For the Children program is really a foster care
Foster.
program. Any discussions about adoption will go through the CPFSA.
Yes, yes, yes. So okay, so you
Right.
have to
So,
specifically go with an intention to adopt and not foster. That is handled separately.
right. Once you go through the family for the child program,
Yes.
that's strictly an adoption program in relation or in collaboration with the
That's
CPFSA.
foster,
But if
right?
you're
That's a foster
thinking
care
adoption,
program.
you go straight to CPFSA, and it's a totally different program. It's a very permanent arrangement from the very beginning. Once you have custody of that child, it's a legal process that allows
Mhm.
you to have the child and you are the parent from the very beginning. Once
All
the
right.
program is complete, once there's closure in the
Yeah.
adoption procedure.
Yes. Mr. Thomas, what words of encouragement would you give to another spouse, a male even, a husband, to encourage him to say, explore the possibilities with your wife of fostering. What words of encouragement? You have a lot of spouses are listening on now, so we want to encourage them. And what would you tell them?
They, from once it's a you are an individual that really love children.
Yeah.
It is not about a biological connection that one need to just look at. It is the mentoring of young mind.
Yeah.
Because for my boys, um, there are times that when individuals come across me and them, they don't know, even though we may not have the have the features, the look alike, but
Yes.
their behavior pattern, everything is as if they are our biological children, right?
Yes.
And as I said before, you just need to love children, and from once you love them, don't look at what whose child it is or whose it's not, but just give the love that is there from once you've got the love to give.
That's awesome. Um, what should not stop them? Tell me something that shouldn't stop them. Because in Jamaica we often talk about Lord, me nah no money. You hear the government talk about, even people who are able to have biological children, the birth rate is low. So you can see that persons are not, open to having children, much less even to foster and open one's home, and all of those things. What should not stop them? Tell them what should not stop them from becoming a foster parent, and then we're going to be wrapping up just shortly.
Um, as I've made mention earlier, I've been a youth leader.
Yeah.
I have seen where I have young people that has come to me and they could point out and said, Uncle Lance, I am this because you have said that. There are times that we don't have money, but at the same time, we will sit on the corner with our friend and we'll have a drink. That
Yes.
same little drink that we give to our friend, it can help somebody's children or child
Yes.
to make it to school. And I have done quite a lot of that. Simone has quarreled with about quite a number of the times that I have done that,
Right.
right? But as I said, it is all about the love that you have. If you don't have a genuine love for young people, for children,
Yes.
or if I should even go further with
Uh, we can't allow you to go further. We're
no, in the sense that it says that not to just be to want
yes.
to say that you want to mentor, but you
Right,
also
right, right.
needs to be firm, but at the same time you have to be a friend to them in order to direct and to have them drawn closer to you.
Ditto,
Excellent. Thank
ditto.
you so much. Thank you so much. Ditto that as well. Listeners, we thank you so very much for tuning in. If you have questions of a personal nature or are concerned about a friend or family member, call us for more information on our services or for our counselors in Kingston and other parts of the island. Contact our head office at 876-920-1034 or 876-926-8101. Note that for appointments and information on costs, you must call the offices. Otherwise, to keep up to date with what's happening with FLM and our programs, check us on our new Facebook page at FLM Family Life Ministries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries FLMJA, and on Instagram at simply FLMJA. Before we leave you, here's our verse for the evening, Philippians 4, verse 13. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. Join us again next week for another informative program. Thanks to our special guests, Simone and Lancelot Thomas, Sabrina and Gary Morgan. Thanks also to our show producer, Kathy Gale and Derval Graham for piloting us through this hour. And of course, you. Have a great week. I'm Crystal Daly Thompson.